Verse 18, whoever believes in him is not condemned. But whoever does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only Son of God. Okay, believing in the name of the Son of God, no, from the Old Testament idea, the context of the essence of who he is. You did not believe in Jesus, that's basically what it means. Not believing in the name, you didn't believe in Jesus. But before that, again, you have like the Venn diagram, if you get again back to that kind of concept. There are those who are not judged, and then there are those who are already judged. Now, we know that all people will be judged. This verse is not addressing the question of the final judgment when Jesus comes back. Right? This is addressing the question here and now, who will be saved. So you have the group of those who will be saved, and you have the group of those who won't be saved. Those who will be saved, they are not judged, right? And there are those who won't be saved, they are already judged. Not a future judgment, an already judgment. They're already, not in the future when they die and Jesus comes back, they're already judged. Even now, even while they're alive, they're judged because they're not believing. And those who believe, they're not judged. Even though they're still alive, they won't be judged. Because again, those who believe that you can lose your salvation, in other words, that you believe in God and then you stop believing in God and then he kicks you out kind of idea. Explain this verse to me, please. Please, I beg you to explain this verse to me in a logical manner. Not in a illogical manner, right? Throw your hands up, abacadabra, and then you have kind of an answer, but in a logical manner. Just plain, simple logic. 2 + 2 is 4, right? It's clear as daylight. You believe, you are not judged. If, right, you can believe, the next day not believe, then it ought to be written like this. For those who believe today, they won't be judged. But tomorrow, if they don't, then tomorrow they're already judged. But then the day after that, they believe again, then they're not judged. But today they were already judged, and now they're not judged. And then the day after that, it's like taking this flower and start picking things up from this flower, right? From this, originally from Mexico, I call them Afrikaans, think Afrikaners, whatever, right? So, pull out, I believe, I don't believe, I believe. So, I believe today, I'm not judged. I don't believe tomorrow, I'm judged. I believe the day after, I'm not judged. The day after that, I believe I'm judged. Oh, not judged, right? I'm not judged, not judged. The verse doesn't say. The verse is not a if, then this, then that, then none again, and then you are. So if you believe, then you're not judged. And if you believe, then you are judged. And if you stop believing, then you are judged. If you start believing, then you're not judged. And if you, then it's not an eternal loop, right? We're not writing a computer program here where you get into an eternal loop and you're stuck, right? And then the computer crashes or something like that. There's an if and if statement with if this then that, if this then that, and then the if goes in until the day you die. Now the day you die, 5,000 ifs down, because that's how many times you lost your faith, or you kept, or you said you don't believe, and then it all gets back, and then when that's last if, that is when that's not. I mean, don't you see the stupidity of what you're saying if you say that a believer, a true believer, can lose his salvation? Right? It would totally contradict the words of Jesus here. If you believe, you are not judged. Right? Simple if then. If you believe, you're not judged. If you don't believe, you are already judged. That's not then in the future you can believe you're non-judged. Okay? So God knows His own. His own, they're not judged. They will believe. They will believe once, because it's a gift of God. It's not their own. It's something that God gives. Not something you can give back, because God gives. It's not like, it's like the Russians. If you give something, you don't give that gift to anybody else. It's so rude. They will never give you anything again. Never, ever. Okay? So if Russians are like that, now just imagine if God is like that. So He gave you eternal life, tomorrow you give it away. Why do I need to give it to you again faith today? You're just going to give it away. Don't you understand what you're doing? Right? Or is that what Jesus said by the sin against the Spirit? So that would imply, if that is possible, and that's a sin against the Spirit, so today you believe, God gave you the gift and tomorrow you stop believing, then you go to hell. There's no salvation anymore for you. Does that verse mean that? Is this what it's meant here? No. Okay? No. We know so many people who've ultimately believed and then because of pressure they stopped believing or something like that. They were forced into making statements and stuff like that. What? No. Venn diagram. This is simple. This is straightforward. If you don't believe, you are not judged. You're not judged tomorrow because you stop believing, because then it doesn't make sense. If you don't believe, you are judged already. Okay? Not that, oh, you're judged today, but tomorrow you might believe, so tomorrow you're not judged. Okay, so I think this verse is so clear. But then again, theologians, Charles Finney, these guys, I mean, like, nah, you can lose it, right? You can, right? You're stronger than God. You can pick yourself up with God's hand. Yeah, people. I don't know. Sometimes the simplicity of it all. It's just so simple, but you know, because we don't want to believe. Like an atheist, you know, they don't want to believe in God, but it's so simple. It's all around you. The wind blowing. Look at this. The wind is blowing, right? This thing is turning.